Hey everyone, and welcome to City Skylines. This game just came out a couple days ago. It's a city building sim. It's actually a lot of fun, if not a little frustrating at some points, but figured I'd do a video or two on it. Just go through playing some basic features of the game. Gonna do Green Plains. In New World on Green Plains, it has a little bit of everything. Suitable area for building, plenty of water to supply your city with water, and maybe even do a hydro dam if you want one at some point. We're just going to go with the basic name that they give us. I'm in America, so we're going to not turn on left-hand traffic, and we'll get underway. Here we go. Pause the game right away. Not going to worry about the info things right now. I have the chirper up here. This is a little info thing that keep an eye on what your citizens are talking about and what is happening around the world. That basically, if buildings are without power, people will complain on there with little like Twitter posts, basically. But it's called the chirper, and it's a nice way later in the game when you have a big city to find out if something's going wrong that you didn't know about. But right at the beginning of the game, you get a lot of repetitive messages, so I have it turned off. Well, not turned off, but it won't open on its own uh, for right now. I can change that later when we get further into the game, but for right now, it's more of a nuisance than it is a help. So we're going to start off. The only thing you do right at the start is build this one basic road, so I normally just build the road and then bulldoze it, get a little bit of the money back. Only lose 10 bucks, dollars, coins, whatever you want to call them. I don't think they actually have a name in the game, but build the smallest road possible and then demolish it, and you basically just lose $10 and it lets you build all the other roads and everything else that you need. One thing I've run into trouble with is I'll start building roads for different areas, and then I get a little carried away and spend too much money. Then I don't have enough for power and water and everything, and I end up losing right at the start. I have one game that I've actually gotten far on, but I've tried to start new games before with stuff I've learned and forget how hard it actually is to first start off in the game. So what I'm going to do is build some wind power right off the bat. The darker the area is on the ground, the higher elevation it is. So you get more wind power, more megawatts from a wind turbine. And this is the darkest area. I don't like how it's kind of in the middle of our starting area here, but don't really have a choice. Could go with coal power, but it creates a lot of pollution, a lot of noise pollution. It costs a lot more up front, and the upkeep is more expensive than a wind turbine. So, just need one to start out with. We'll come down here, get a water pumping station. You can see the water's flowing in the direction of the arrows, so we'll build a pump station to get water from there, and then the water drain pipe and drain the sewage down here. You always want to put the sewage drains downstream from your water pump, or else your citizens will get sick, start dying, and start leaving the city. Come back to water, build a pipe between the two. Those are connected, and then once we get a building area with roads over here set up, then we can drag pipes over to provide water. These are going to need electricity to run, though, so the way electricity works, you see this blue outline area around objects. That's their that's the range of their power grid. So you have these power lines, which you basically just connect the areas together, so you don't have to wire individual buildings together. You just have to wire areas. So we'll build electric line there, and there. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and start on our roads. We're gonna go real basic to start out with. Um, Go 6-lane one way, come out a bit. Create a square, one-way traffic. So it's just a big loop, and then do 4 lanes. Come out to here, I guess. Whoops. This will be the start of our residential area. Then we do 2 lanes here. Connect these two together, actually. Traffic is an important thing in this game. As you can see, doing that, because it's one way going into one way, there's no traffic lights on the road. But if we come up here, since this is a two-way connecting to a one-way, there's actually traffic lights. And the same thing here, two-way into two-way, you have traffic lights. That'll slow down the cars and create some traffic, which at the start of the game it's inevitable because you don't have a lot of road options and everything, or a lot of money to start out with to get a good road system going. So you're going to have some areas like this, but you won't have a lot of cars at the start either. So traffic's not a concern right at the beginning, but it is something you have to take into account for later in the game. So we have that set up. We have that connected, so there's a full loop. Do the 2-lane road. Come out this way. This will be a little area for industry. Do the same thing over here for commercial, which I'll get into in a second. That's weird. We'll connect those up. Again, you'll see two-way into one-way, so there actually are stoplights there. So that's something we'll have to think about in the future. But for right now, that's good. We're at $28,000 left still, so we'll go ahead and go to zoning. Now this is where you start. This is how you designate areas for different things. You have residential, you have commercial, and you have industrial zones. These meters down here show you the demand for certain things for commercial, industrial, and residential. Right now the demand's only for residential. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. You have different basically paint tools. You have small brush, where you brush over an area. You have the large brush for a larger area. You have the fill tool to just fill in big area. Then you have the marquee tool, which I like to use. It's the easiest, I think. So basically you just click and drag and it creates a big selection box. Anything in there that's not already covered by another zone type of zoning will get filled in with that. So there's our residential zone. We're just going to go ahead and fill out everything right now, since once residential starts going in, the demand for jobs will start to increase and the demand for commercial, for spending, will start to increase as well. So we'll go ahead and just put those in right now. Now, I'm trying not to put zones near this big 6-lane highway, because then cars will be trying to turn off of this highway to go to industrial zones and the commercial buildings and everything, and it'll cause traffic on these big roads. So I'm actually trying to keep as much of the zoning away from the big road as I can. That should work for commercial, and we'll fill out industrial. Alright, we'll hit space and we'll speed up the game time a little bit. You can see residential buildings have started to go in, and you can see since I'm in the power mode, you can see the blue area around everything starting to grow as more buildings come in. So this whole area will eventually have that blue area of effect field around all of it, and it'll be a lot easier to connect all these buildings together. But right at the start, we'll probably have to create a couple different power lines between them to keep them all connected until all the buildings connect themselves. You can see these little water symbols popping up. That means they don't have access to the water system. So we go ahead to Water and Sewage tab and create water pipes. And this works basically the same as the electricity, only you provide the blue aura this time, the blue area of effect. And anything within that area, any buildings, will be provided with water automatically through underground pipes, or however you want to think it works. So just create these pipes to get them water. Then we'll connect them all together just for good measure. So I have 18,000. We're going to lose money quite a bit from the start. So you actually want a decent bank balance when you start. You want to have a decent bank balance when buildings start to pop up, because you're going to lose money at first just because you're having to provide maintenance for roads and electricity in these buildings and everything. But eventually, you can see just kind of filler stuff they talk about, different things that don't really apply, so that's why I have that turned off for now. As you can see, if we go back to the electricity tab, the industrial building is actually hooked up to the residential power grid. So the power that we're providing right here is connected all the way through to here. However, the commercial area, like idiots, started building in the middle, so they're not connected to this power grid over here. So I'm actually not gonna connect them right away. They can stay without power for a little bit before they'll get mad and abandon their buildings. So we'll see if they build a couple more buildings and spread this zone up into the residential area. But I don't know if they will, because there's really not a demand for commercial zones right now. So we might have to connect them automatically, or manually, sorry. Some more houses popping up. Industrial need is being met. Still no demand for commercial, so before they get upset, I'm gonna go ahead and connect them here. Just bring this over. Then once they do connect here, I can delete this power line and it'll give us room for some expansion. First thing that we'll have to expand probably, though, is the residential area, because we built it really small and there's not nearly as many zoning tiles here as we built for commercial and residential, so we'll have to expand that really fast. Starting to make money now, though. Weekly income of over $100 and rising. But I think our housing is just about filled up, so we're going to have to expand this some. And to bulldoze through some houses there, but that's all right. Built these like one too short. That's weird. Doesn't line up right. Should be good. Add some more houses. Some residential areas, and we'll reconnect the power to here. On pause. Whenever I do construction, I usually pause the game. It's a smart thing to get in the habit of if you have enough money, because nothing surprising will happen while you're building. You can see these little people icons by the industrial buildings. Not enough workers, which means we didn't have enough residential buildings built, residential zoning for more houses to be built to provide workers for these buildings. And you can see these power icons popping up here. If we go to our electricity tab, you can see our production's only at 7 megawatts for some reason. Not sure why. Pretty sure we placed that on an 8 tile, but our consumption is 8 megawatts, so we have to build another wind turbine. Everything here 7 now? There's an 8 way over here. There's an 8. You can see the, I think that's an orange or a red, orange, reddish kind of circle, the big circle around the turbine as I place it down, and the little headphones icon in there. This building causes noise pollution, and you don't want noise pollution near your residential zoning, or else the land value will decrease and the buildings won't level up, and you want your buildings to level up because that provides you with more tax money. So go ahead and build that. It's far enough away that it won't decrease the land values. Go ahead and unpause the game. Little chirper thing, green energy. What an excellent choice, green energy. So if we come over here, these are different info views for different things. This electricity one, you can see we're producing 15 megawatts now. Consumption continues to rise as more buildings start to get built. Alright, you can see the, congratulations, Little Hamlet, reach a population of 500. And basically reaching new population limits is how you unlock new buildings and features in the game. So as you can see, we've unlocked taxes and loans. You can now adjust the taxation of different zones in the money panel and can take a small loan with low interest. And big thing when you reach your population caps, well, not caps, when you reach your population goals, is the services. You need to pay attention to this, because once you unlock the ability to provide a new service, your citizens are going to want those services pretty much immediately. So right away, we're going to have to build a landfill site to start collecting garbage, a medical clinic to keep them healthy and happy, and an elementary school so that they can be educated. When you get to higher level commercial buildings and office zones, they require higher educated citizens to work. The industrial zones only require basic laborers, so they don't have to be educated at all to work in an industrial building. But that's how the education works. But we're going to need to build those pretty much right away. So what we're going to do, first, forgot to expand our water for the new residential area. So we'll go ahead and add that in, provides them with enough water. You do get a small cash bonus when you reach different population goals, which is nice. I don't think we'll have enough to build everything though, but trash is going to be an important one. And it does cause pollution building a landfill site, so I usually build it in the industrial area, just because that's where all the pollution is going to be anyway. Put it down in the corner. These houses right here are probably going to have low land value. they're going to have a low land value because they're built right next to these industrial buildings, which cause pollution. So let's bring that up. It hasn't spread too much yet, but we haven't been playing that long. But the pollution will eventually continue to spread, and it'll decrease the land value of these houses right here, and they'll get pretty unhappy. So we built the garbage thing, so the school isn't as important to build right away, but the landfill is, because they'll start producing and accumulating garbage really fast. And the medical clinic is the next important thing to build, because they'll start getting sick now as well. Remember, this road I built here is a one-way loop going counterclockwise. So you can see the when the road turns green, that's the coverage that the building will have. It'll be able to, if I built the hospital right here, it'll be able to hit the commercial area here and the industrial area, but it'll only be able to hit about the first area here of the residential area in time. There's a chance he'd be able to come up here to get these people if they got sick, to bring them back, the ambulances, but because it's one way, it's less effective on this side. But if I build it over here, it has better access to everything, because it wouldn't have to make this big loop around to get to the residential area. So we're going to build it pretty much in the middle over here. Now we're down to 6,000. Let's check our electricity real quick. Go ahead and bulldoze these electrical wires. Don't need them anymore. So yeah, our electricity consumption's going up because we have some service buildings now that require electricity, and more buildings are still being built, so electricity consumption is going to go up. We're making over 500 a week though, so if we let some time pass a bit more quickly, our money will go up. Everyone has water and electricity for now, so once we have enough money, let's see, an elementary school costs 10,000, so we'll probably wait until 11 or 12,000 before we place down an elementary school. Well, I think I'm let this video go on long enough now. We'll pause it and save it. What is this? Rockdale LP. Packaging. Alright, game saved. Gonna end the video here, come back to this. In the next episode, we'll probably plop down the elementary school, probably expand commercial over another road, and definitely expand our residential up a road or two. We might remove residential from this first road, maybe the second one, just so that we can build a bit more industrial, because this dotted line is the edge of our land that we can build on for right now. Eventually we'll be able to purchase the plot of land next to it, but I'm not sure if we'll get to that in time before our industrial needs gonna crank up. So there's a video. Leave a like if you want to see more of this. I'm probably gonna end up doing a bit more videos on this, but if there's no interest, won't do too many. Subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. Take care.